Thanks again for listening to What's Up Aboard TV and What's Up Aboard the podcast. My name is Woody Ward, and I'm your favorite host of this self-help podcast. As you know, we specialize in interviewing everyday heroes, much like yourself, and allowing them a voice to share their own stories of love, life, relationships, and more. I started this podcast because I, without a doubt, 100% believe people everywhere have a story to tell, but we just want to know what's yours. With that being said, our guest today is no exception to this rule. She is a confident Black woman who has faced some tough challenges and came back stronger than before. We look forward to hearing her story right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nicoya Parker to the lab today. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing good, Ward. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm a little nervous, but I am so excited to be here.
Nervous, okay. I'm sure you're not. I know you're popular out there in the community, so we're going to go ahead and do what we're going to do and learn from you. So, when I start the show out normally, I like to ask our guests to tell us about yourself in your own words. For example, where you're from, what do you do to earn your coins, and what size shoe do you wear?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Nicoya. To describe myself, I think I'm a sweetheart. I'm probably one of the sweetest people you'll meet. I'm
Mm,
goofy, kind of, chill, like to relax and things like that. I consider myself an introvert, but once you get to know me, I will definitely talk your ear off.
okay.
As far as as far as what I do, I'm currently a recruiter. I've been doing recruiting a little over 8 years now, so that's what I do. As far as the shoe
Mm,
size, I wear a size 10. I'm a tall girl. I'm about 5'8" and some change. So I wear a size 10.
hmm. Yeah. Every girl I know who's 5'8" wears a size 10.
And they take
Hmm,
off the
interesting.
shoe. So
I know. You come, what a size 10's at? We never
um
out. All right. So now let me talk about that name, Nicoya. Yes. Can you spell that for us?
yeah. Nicoya.
What's behind that? How did you become the Nicoya? Because I don't know any other Nicoyas.
Yeah, so my dad named me. He has a niece or a cousin named Nicole, so it kind of came from there. But a fun fact,
Okay.
there's some type of peninsula somewhere called the Nicoya Peninsula. I forgot where it's at, but I learned that as
Hmm. Okay. Look at that. Knowing something with your name. Well, since your dad name, what do your family call it? They call you Nicoya? Koi Koi, Nikki? What they call it?
well. So my family, and my close friends actually call me Cody, Cody, Cody. I don't know. I forgot who they said started the Cody thing, but it's a thing. I never refer to myself as Cody, but my close friends and family call me Cody.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's Koya. Koya,
All
Cody,
right.
Kodisha. It's a lot.
Wow. All right. So, did you grow up in a two-parent household?
I did. Mhm.
Oh, okay, good. Were both parents college grads or high school grads, or what was their
Mm,
education?
No. So, um, well, my dad did go off to college. He went to college on a football scholarship, but he did not finish because I was born a little bit shortly after that. My mom, she made the graduate of high school, started working, but she did go back to get her associate's degree, I think back in 2014. So she went to like adult education. So she did go back.
Okay, good, good. So you messed up your father's education, huh? So
That's what they
it was
tell
you.
me. It was my fault, I guess.
Okay. Was education preached to you when you were a young person coming up? They said you got to go. You get this unique name. You got to go to college.
Yes, me and my brother, we both are college graduates. So they did a really good job at instilling that, and we wanted to do it. And took me a while to get my degree. I went to a four-year institution, took a break, started working, and then I went back to finish my degree.
How long did it take in between there to get that degree? Total
I,
time.
I would say about 3 years because I had relocated. So I'm not from
Okay.
Indianapolis.
Really?
No.
Okay. Before I ask you where you from, you get your just one sibling, one brother.
Yes,
He's older or younger?
he's younger, 3 years younger.
Okay, okay. And where are you originally from then?
I was born in Champaign, Illinois, moved to
Hmm.
Freeport, Illinois when I was two, small Freeport, Illinois. And then I went off to college in DeKalb, Illinois. I went to Northern Illinois University.
Okay. You said
Mhm.
Freeport?
Freeport. See, yeah, a lot of people don't know where that's at unless you're from the area, but yeah, it's about
Mm-hmm.
20,000 people there. Oh, fun fact, Robert Johnson, the BET creator, he's from Freeport.
Okay, yeah. That sounds like a place where slaves snuck off to. Get to
Yeah,
Freeport, get free, and you be good.
it could
Okay.
be.
Yeah, that's an interesting name. So, and what did you get your degree in when
It's
you went to
kind of a
school?
long, well, in short or in long, I got my degree in general studies. However, I went to school for public health, and that's what most of my studies is in. So if you see
Uh,
my resume, you might see public health or general studies, but mainly general.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. When I first went to school, I was gonna go for general studies too, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I was a toxicologist at the time. And they said, why don't you just go back to school, get general studies? You got 7 years experience with here, we could do that. And I said, went down and, changed majors 3, 4 times. But yeah, what did you want to do when you grew up as a young person? What was your goal?
Well, initially I wanted to be either a pediatric nurse or an obstetrician or something dealing with kids and children. In high school, I was actually part of a program called Hoya, where I was able to get my CNA license while I was in high school. I was able to
Mm,
job shadow doctors, nurses, and I was like, I don't think I actually want to do this. As far
mm,
as actually like touching on people. So then I had switches to public health, like administration. So kind of not as hands-on, but still in the healthcare field.
okay, yeah. It's called Hoya, you said?
Yeah, I forgot what the acronym stands for. It's like health, occupational, youth, something. But it's
I
called
was
Hoya.
saying, I like to look at it. I
Uh-huh.
wonder if that program still around because, that's a good program because
It
you
was.
definitely knew you didn't want to do it. So
Mhm.
I know a lot of people, friends of mine went to college, became educators, and I started on that field as well. And then once you get out there, you're like, man, I don't want to do this. These kids off the chisel.
It's a
And then you
lot.
stuck. You stuck.
Mhm.
So yeah, well, I'm glad you knew. So what was your childhood like then? Since you had a two-parent household, you had the loving brother, so y'all got along great. What was your childhood like?
Yeah, so it was just four of us, me, my mom, my dad, and my brother. We were a small, goofy family. Very close. We tell jokes. We always laugh. Some of my friends call us corny because we have corny jokes, but that's what kind of, made us a family. Um,
Yes.
so I wouldn't say everything was perfect because every family has their issues and things like that, and obviously that kind of helped shape me to where I am today and kind of learning things like that. But we spent holidays together. Our house was the kick it house.
That
Anytime
was
we
a
had like
spot.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, barbecues, birthdays, it was our house. So
Mhm.
it was a good time overall.
Okay, good, good. I can tell you're well-rounded, very articulate. So yeah, so shout out to your parents there. Um, Now I know you said you had some issues in school with weight struggles.
Mhm.
Tell me about that. Let's unwrap that. I want to know about that.
Yeah, so I would probably say I'm what you call like old fat. So like I kind of just grew up always heavy set. Always had, some meat on my bones, things like that. I remember the first time I even realized I was fat or bigger. I think it was like in the second grade. I was just walking down the hallway and this little boy just stopped in front of me and said, "Dang girl, you fat." And I was like, "Who, me?" And that's when
Wow.
right. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." And so kind of from then I was kind of like, okay, I guess I'm a big girl, but I don't think it really at that time kind of phased me like that. I was just, bigger kid. And it wasn't like I was a kid that just sat around and ate all the time. Like I was active. I played basketball, I played softball. Was I good at either one of them? Not really, but I was
Okay.
active, still working out. And I was still in an era where, we were still outside playing a lot. 90s kids riding bikes, playing tag and stuff like that. So I was active. Just for me, just had a hard time keeping weight off.
Uh, like, but how would you say your max weight was?
I would say it depends on what part of childhood. As far as physically, I was always big. I would say as far as adulthood, I think I
Okay.
got up to close to 300 pounds.
No way.
Yeah, I got close to 300 pounds. I was roughly like 285-ish. That was my highest weight. Mhm.
So was it like the cafeteria school food that good? I mean, what you said it wasn't. I mean, was it just hereditary or something? I just because.
I'm not sure because my brother, he we were both some big kids. And a fun fact about that is I remember my mom, she used to always go on Oprah.com to see what kind of different topics they had available for people to go on the show. And they
Yeah.
actually had a topic for like big kids. So she was like, it's a topic for big kids for Oprah. Let's take some pictures and things like that. So one of the producers, well, she told our story. One of the producers had reached out and was like, hey, can you guys take some pictures? And me and my brother, we posed and we did some big, happy, big kids. And we're
Yeah.
posing and she sent the pictures over to them. But I guess we weren't what they were looking for because we was happy fat kids. I guess they're looking for like some sad fat kids. So we
Yeah.
didn't make
Yeah.
the cut, unfortunately. But it just was kind of just like that. My parents, both of them growing up, they were very fit. They were not big at all. If
Hmm.
you look at their high school pictures and things like that, because they were like high school sweethearts. Um,
Okay.
so they were very, slim. So I don't know where the weight came. Because my brother, he was active too in football, baseball. We were
Okay.
both very
Yeah.
active. Just the weight.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So what made you decide to take matters in your own hand and to lose this weight?
Yeah, so I would say back in 2017, that's when that was the highest what I've ever gotten to. Because back in college, like I've always been a pretty big girl. Back in college, I did get on my fitness pal and I lost about 30 pounds on my own.
Hmm.
And I had relocated to Indianapolis. And I don't know, maybe it was a new city. Like I said, I come from small Freeport. We got Applebee's and a couple other restaurants, but coming to Indianapolis, it was a lot. So we was going to restaurants, trying here and there, and I think I gained like roughly like 30 pounds in like a year. Um,
Hmm.
but on top of that, like I just started noticing just, how big I was getting. I started to develop health issues. I think I became pre-diabetic. Um, high blood pressure was starting to kick in, just my joints. And I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I still would work out. I tried to work out. I would work out. The weight would come right back. And then I had
Hmm.
noticed a girl I went to college with, and she actually had, the weight loss surgery, the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I had reached out to her about it and was like, hey, what did you do? Like, how did you do it? Did my research, and I kind of just went for it.
What it's called a vertical sleeve.
Vertical sleeve gastrectomy.
And
For
what does that
short.
actually do? I'm,
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't know a lot of stuff, so educate me.
Oh,
What
no,
is
you're
that?
fine. So essentially they surgically removed about 2/3 or more of your actual stomach, the organ. So I have to say the organ because I remember somebody thought it was like actually my stomach, the big the pouch part, like your weight.
Right. Yeah.
But no, the actual organ. So therefore you really can't eat that much. And if you can't eat that much, you're at a high caloric deficit. So you really have no choice but to lose weight.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So how much? So you was almost three.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at now?
I kind of teeter. Well, okay. My highest weight was around 285. My
Hmm.
lowest weight was around 172. So I lost roughly about like 110 pounds altogether. Right now I'm teetering between, and that was 2017. So I'm about 6 years post.
Hmm.
Um, I managed to keep most of it off. I teeter anywhere between like 185, 190 on a good and bad day, whatever. But um, that's what it kind of looks like.
So is it still the same now? You can't eat a lot now?
I can definitely eat more. So that's what people also need to understand or should understand that it's a tool. So just because you have it, you will be able to eat more. You'll never be able to really eat as much as you used to before. But
Yeah.
it is still kind of hard to get like a lot of food down. But you also have to be careful because you can't get a lot of food down in one setting. But if you're snacking and you take a break, then you snack later and you take a break, you can end up eating just as much as you were before. And that's where a lot of people kind of end up gaining their weight back if they don't take control of it.
Yeah.
Because you still have to work. Just because you had the weight loss surgery does not guarantee that you're going to lose all the weight or keep it off.
Hmm. You can't drink either, can you?
Like
Alcohol?
alcohol or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that dabbles.
Okay.
But they definitely tell you don't drink too much. I definitely feel like I can feel a little bit earlier, in comparison. I've never been a big drinker anyway, so I really can't, say for sure, but you can drink.
Okay. Did they counsel you before you had that surgery too, and try to any mental deals, or they just
Yes.
yeah.
So in order for if you have, good health insurance, in order for your health insurance to cover it, they typically make you go through like a 6 month um period. So a lot of that is either trying to lose weight, do like an exercise program. You go to programs where they kind of tell you what to expect before and after the surgery, what to eat. And then you do also have to see a psychiatrist. So I did meet a psychiatrist just to make sure that I'm mentally ready. Because what
Yeah.
happens is there are a lot of people who, are overweight that actually have food addictions and issues, and they cope with food. So if you don't have that in check, you have the weight loss surgery. Now you can't turn to food. You could potentially turn to a different vice. So they try to make sure that you're mentally prepared before you take this big step.
Out of curiosity, what type of things does the psychiatrist talk to you about? Is he just kind of like, you hold up a sign, do you see this shape? What do you see an apple? What do they ask you?
Yeah, so
If
they
you
really
remember.
kind of ask you kind of similar questions, kind of to you, like how was your childhood? What is your relationship with like your body image? What is your relationship to food? What do you think you will react, once food is not there to you? Just kind of things like that just to really see like how you can cope with it and just know that, you won't be able to eat, because it was a big shock for me, because it's like when I kind of first had the surgery in the beginning, I could only maybe eat like 2 ounces at a time, which is crazy. But it's like your mind is telling you that you can eat how you used to eat. And now I done ate 2 bites of food and I'm full. I'm like, but it
What
tasted
the
so good. I want to eat some more. But like your stomach will tell you, like, you can't, it hurts.
2 bites? Like, what do you mean per session? 2 bites?
Like, say for instance, I had like, like a piece of steak or like some chicken. I can take like 2 big bites of chicken. That's almost like 2 ounces per bite. And my stomach is like, that's it. And that's in the beginning. Like, I think like
Hmm.
once you make it past like 6 months or so, it's like almost like 6 to 8 ounces. And the more years you go out, it's kind of a little bit more, just, depending on, because everybody's is kind of different. And sometimes some surgeons take more out than others. So it really just varies. But in the beginning, it was a struggle.
Okay. Yeah. How did your family address your weight issues? If your parents were reasonably fit, and were they aware that you and your brother were larger than you wanted to be?
Well, they were fit in their younger years.
Okay.
They were fit in their younger years. So as adults, they, are heavier too. But they were definitely, supportive of us. They never really talked down on us either. As far as weight, again, they were always, pushing us into sports and getting us active and made sure we were outside with our friends and things like that. But they made sure it was still, positive reinforcement too. Obviously, want us to be healthy, but sometimes, I wouldn't necessarily we got bullied, but people will let you know that you're big. Like sometimes, I come home like somebody called me fat today, or I don't want to be fat anymore. And it's like, I'm trying not to, like, I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to work out. I'm in these sports, but it's just like, it's just still there. And so obviously,
Hmm.
your parents just try to, tell you you're beautiful, the way you are and things like that. Obviously still want you to be healthy, but
Right,
it
right,
was
right.
never anything like putting us down or negative.
Did you have any negative thoughts on your own about your body and self-esteem, or you said you were generally happy?
Yes and no, because I mean, it was definitely sometimes I'm like, dang, like, because I really don't think most people actually want to be overweight or, want to be fat. Sometimes this kind of happens and, it's harder than other, because like once you get up there, it's harder, to lose it. Like it's just,
Oh yeah.
hard. Um, so sometimes I would be like, oh, I'm down, I'm a big girl, and people really aren't noticing me. They're looking at smaller girls. I wish I could have more attention. And then also, I was I was also never anybody who kind of just walled like, oh, pity me. I'm just like the big girl, blah, blah, blah. Because I actually wanted to be a plus size model at one point because I still thought I was cute. Like,
Hmm.
still took care of myself, dressed nice, did my hair and things like that. So it was never like I'm just, sad big girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about dating while you were happily big.
Mhm.
Did you date then, or did you wait until after you lost the weight?
No, so both. No, I definitely dated then. I believe while I was bigger, I only had one serious relationship, I would say. But I definitely dated, had a couple situationships in there. But what
Mm.
I would say about, dating as, a big person, unfortunately, I do think that there are guys out there who like bigger women. But I think there's a lot of guys who also care too much about what other people think, when it comes to, being, with a big person publicly. So, a big guy try to talk, not big guy, a guy who try to talk to you and try to get to know with you and date you like behind closed doors and say all sweet, nice things to you. But like in open, it's kind of like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
they're too worried about what other people think.
Yes.
And I kind of fell into that trap too. It kind of like accepting that when you shouldn't accept it. Like, if you're not gonna love me in public, like, we not about to do this behind scenes. So
Right.
that was part of something that I had to kind of grow out of too, just accepting, lower things like that. But then on the opposite side, me kind of being, I'm gonna say, hypocritical in a way, but I've only really dated like smaller guys, like tall, skinny guys. And it yeah. And
Interesting.
it wasn't necessarily because I wasn't like attracted to bigger things. It was more of a mental thing. Like, I don't want to date another big guy, because eventually I feel like I date to like eventually marry somebody,
Oh,
I
of
think
course.
long term. So in my head, I'm like, I don't want to date a big guy because I'm scared to have big children. And
Mm.
kind of like how I felt, being a bigger kid growing up, and what I kind of went through, and felt like I didn't want to have that for my kids. Not necessarily saying that that would happen, but I thought like my eyes dating somebody, smaller, and if I were to have children with them, it would be less likely that that would happen.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So is it fair to say you were discriminated against the chunky brothers because you was like, look, I like you, but you just too chunky for me, brother.
Sadly, sadly, yes, I probably missed out on
Mm,
some really good chunky men. I feel sorry. I feel
mm,
bad about
mm, mm, mm.
it. It's tragic.
So do you think the caliber of men was different who were chunky versus the skinny guys, or just people are people?
I think people are people. I think it's weird for me because I feel like a lot of people think that, other people, even smaller, because I think people are, surprised when I said I dated like, skinnier guys, things like that. It's like, a skinny dude dating like a big girl. Like, maybe they think, I think some people think like big and big to go together, but honestly, I don't even think a lot of big guys date big girls either. It's like, we
I
like,
don't know.
I feel like once we're older, I think that's more of a thing, because it's like, we might as well at this point. But I don't know.
That's cool. I don't know. I think everybody has those weight issues. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I'm like 215, and I say I think I should get down, but I'm 6'2". So I look at
Mhm.
NBA players, they're the same size, but I feel like, I don't know. I think it's just so. With that being said, do you think you're confident now more so than when you were larger?
Honestly, I would say that. I would say I'm more confident because I feel like, unfortunately, I'm more accepted, because you can tell the difference, unfortunately, from when I was bigger compared to when I was smaller, because you do. And one thing, I actually don't like attention like that. I'm an introvert. I like my space. I don't like people looking at me. I'm a terrible flirt as well. Like, if you come up to me, look at me at my eyes, I will avert my eyes. Like, I don't know if I want this attention. I get all bashful and weird.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So getting that attention is like interesting, but it's kind of uncomfortable at the same time. But you do notice more guys will open doors for you. So that's one thing you notice. You go in these stores, even women, like if you go to certain stores, they'll approach you more as far as getting clothing and stuff out of their stores. So you notice that more.
Uh-huh.
People are hopping your DMs that they ain't talked to you before, but now they kind of
Right.
like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely different. I feel like you have a larger pool, even though I did have a pool when I was a bigger person, because I went on some dates. I've talked to some guys, so it ain't like I was just like nobody. Then here goes everybody,
Right.
but it's definitely different.
So back then they want you. Now you hot.
You feel me?
Okay. Now, are you in a relationship now, or what's your status?
I am a little over a year now.
Okay. Is he fat? I'm just playing. I know you wouldn't date a fat dude. So, how would you feel if he gained weight, the guy you with now?
I would no. I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm 31, and I'm really just looking for somebody who, loves
Looking.
me for me. I love him for him. If he, gained weight or anything like that, I would still like him. I would still care for him. I really
At this
just really
point,
care
yeah.
about how you treat me at this point.
Yeah.
He
Now,
cute.
how did you explain to him that you used to be larger?
How did I explain that? I
Or
don't
did
know,
you even
because
tell him?
I know I definitely did tell him, because I'm very open. I actually I haven't really been active on it lately, but I have a whole Instagram page like dedicated to my weight loss journey, from the
Yeah.
beginning. So I did explain it to him. He wasn't taken aback by it. He did find it interesting, of course, but like him, like most people, obviously prefer that I did it, the natural way, as far as, exercise and things like that, which I did try. It's not like I just went, okay, I'm big, now I'm about to have, weight loss surgery. I worked out, I ate great, did everything that you're supposed to do. But the thing is, like, I'll lose weight, but moment, like because anybody can fall off track. That's anybody. If
Right.
I fall off track, it feel like it just come right back up. And I felt like this thing would kind of just make it more, concrete, which it has. It's been about 6 years and I kept most of the weight off. I've never done that before.
That's good.
But as far as him,
Congratulations.
he was accepting.
Now you're not worried about the weight coming back since it's been 6 years. You're pretty confident that you're gonna ride it out to your 40s and 50s at, around this weight.
I don't think I will ever get back. Fingers crossed. I don't think I'll ever get back to where I was, but no, it is a point. I definitely can eat more at this point. So, and there are a lot of people who, unfortunately, don't make it to 6 years like I did and keep most of the weight off. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm different, but a lot of people do gain the weight back if they're not, consistent with it, watching what they're eating and things like that. It can come back. It has for a lot of people. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get more active. I do a lot of water aerobics right now. I enjoy doing that. I'll do
Okay.
some YouTube workouts on the television to kind of keep active
Mm-hmm.
and kind of watch what I eat for the most part.
Is there anything you have to avoid? Any foods you gotta avoid right now to not gain weight? Like, do you stay away from KFC or Chick-fil-A or different things like that?
Well, no, honestly, I pretty much eat what I want. It's just that I can't eat a whole bunch of it, so I don't,
Okay.
really gain a lot of weight from it. However, if I do choose to like do dieting, I do try to do more so like low carb food, so mainly like meats, vegetables, and things like that, and try to avoid the carbohydrates, and that helps.
Okay. Now you had mentioned earlier that some people probably would prefer that you did it the natural way of losing weight, which me, I could care less what people think about it. But how do you feel about girls getting a BBL as opposed to going to the gym doing squats? What do you think about that? Is that wrong?
You know what's funny? I've always asked God because I've always been a bigger girl, and a lot of people know this about me. I have no butt. Like out of all the places you could have put fat on my body, you just missed out on the butt. And even with that, what I think about getting the BBL, I've thought about it. I would never get it. I don't see myself getting any more surgeries at this point. I'm just done with that. I don't judge those who do. The only thing is like if you're gonna get it, and I don't know how you can guarantee that it's gonna look right or not because you really get what you get once you're done. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that also scares me too. Like if I did go get one, what it's gonna look like? Because if it don't look right, like I don't got money like that to get it reversed, to get it fixed. It's kind of like it is what it is. And I done seen some that I'm like, you was probably better off where you were before.
Right. Yeah. I've seen it good and bad. But I think they say they got a couple people who kill, like Dr. Miami. They say he don't miss.
No.
Okay. I don't think it wouldn't bother me if a girl wanted to get like, hey, what you got to do? Because
Uh-huh.
there's so many things out there, do the protective hairstyles, the implant, everything. I'm like, hey, if it makes you
You
feel
can do
good,
anything.
yeah, go for it. I mean, because who wants to walk around not liking something about themselves? So I was like,
Mhm.
go for it. But like you said, I think people are critical or hypercritical of other people doing something that really ain't got nothing to do with them, but
Exactly.
it's what it is. So let's talk about lupus now. I have a definition of it. Lupus occurs when the immune system, which normally helps the body from infection and disease, starts attacking its own tissue, and this attack can cause by inflammation, in some cases permanent tissue damage, and can be widespread, affecting the skin, joints, heart, lung, kidney, circulating blood, and brain. What happened, and how did you get lupus?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with lupus May 2022, so approximately a year ago.
Oh,
And it
recent.
was, yeah, very recent. I just celebrated the anniversary a couple months ago. But it just kind of happened like after my 30th birthday. I feel like after I turned 30, things just started kind of breaking down. I was like, okay, so this is 30, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But kind of what just started happening, I just noticed in that my joints were starting to hurt really bad.
Yeah.
And shortly I had went to New Orleans. Me and one of my friends had went to New Orleans, and I had got there and I could barely walk. My feet were swollen, my hands were swollen, and I'm trying to have a good time. And I'm just like, I could barely walk. And what really just kind of, got me was where I could barely walk. Like I had to put a chair in my shower because I could barely walk to my shower. I couldn't close my doors all the way because I couldn't turn the handle. I was
Mm-hmm.
crying all the time, which is new for me because I'm not a crier. People will tell you I do not cry. I'm a thug. I don't do that. I don't even like being around criers. Like I'm a there type of person,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? And then just one day I just ended up in the emergency room because I couldn't eat. Like I wasn't eating for like 2 weeks. I was eating like half an applesauce. Like everything was really bad. And they were already kind of working up because they started doing blood work because I was showing signs of having lupus, but it wasn't confirmed until I landed in the hospital because I was so weak. My body was attacking each other. My blood platelets had got so low, I had to get a blood transfusion, and they were just like, "Yeah, your body is just taking off."
Were you scared, nervous at that point?
I was, because I never experienced anything like it before, so I was nervous. I'm like, okay, but I'm also kind of a person, which is weird. I'm kind of like, it is what it is, because I've been in a couple, like, I wouldn't say to say like near death situations, but I'm kind of always kind of like, well, God, if this is the way it's gonna go, this is the way it's gonna go. So I never like get too worried about things. It's kind of like it is what it is.
Oh man, I don't know. So were you dating the guy you're with now when you found this out?
I was not. We met actually probably like 4 months after that.
Hmm. Okay, so wow, you got a lot of stuff to share with your brother. Okay, so do you have to avoid the sun at all or anything like that now, or what precautions are you taking now with lupus?
Yeah, so one thing I think they told me the reason why I was having such a bad time in New Orleans is because I was in direct sunlight. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
really triggered it. So when I had came back from New Orleans, that's when everything had kind of exemplified. But they do tell me to put on sunscreen, which before, most Black people feel like they don't need to wear sunscreen anyway. So that was becoming
Yeah.
a thing. But now with lupus, I definitely have to wear sunscreen. So I just make sure I get the spray con. I'm still not as good with that as I should be, unfortunately. But I wear cardigans. Everybody knows I'm a cardigan person. I will throw on a cardigan. So that helps me as far as like my arms and being out, but mainly
Okay.
sunscreen.
Okay. Did it have any other effects on you, lupus?
Yes. So one of the biggest effects that it had on me was I ended up losing a lot of my hair. And
Oh.
well, I guess back then people know me. I had very long, pretty hair, thick hair.
Mm-hmm.
So just one day I actually had kind of like hair like this in my hair because it was just easier for me to manage during the lupus. And one day I was taking it out and just all my hair was just coming out. So I was like a whole braid that was braided to my scalp. The whole braid just lifted off my scalp. And
Ooh.
I was just left with like a mohawk. Everything was just, taken off. And I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was going to cry. This whole situation, I never really like cried about except for when I was just like crying for no reason. I wouldn't say no reason, but I thought I would cry because, I've been so attached to my hair and things like that. My mom
Yes.
did cry. She's actually a breast cancer survivor. So she had lost her
Okay.
hair previously, due to, her battling breast cancer. So seeing me with all my
Yes.
hair was kind of, triggering. I'm her baby girl and kind of going through this. And she's great. She was rocking with me through everything. Like anything I needed through the whole process, she was there 100%. But that was the thing. But it's growing back now. It's doing well.
So you had like you said the braids are coming out. So you have the patches too, like Jada Pinkett's. Well, I better keep her name out of my mouth. Well, like that one celebrity who had those patches, did they have that too, or just like strands, the whole thing?
It was mainly like it because it wasn't like it was more like fuzzy, like real, just like it wasn't like slick ball, but it was like mainly my edges, like the back of my head. So I
Mm-hmm.
still had a little bit of hair at the top, but it was very thin. So I just decided to just cut most of it off. And I try to do like the Tony Braxton, shout out Tony Braxton, she's a lupus survivor too. But
Yes,
I
she
tried to do
is.
the
Yeah.
whole little Tony Braxton, like little shortcut. And it kind of worked out. I was a little scared because I got large head. So I was a little scared, how the short haircut would look on me. But a lot of people liked it. It grew on me. So it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how's your hair doing now? So you have the protective style now. How is it doing outside of the protective style?
Oh no, it's doing really good. I have pretty because my hair's always kind of, been pretty thick. So luckily it's growing back pretty well. I actually have a cousin, I'll plug her real quick. I actually have a cousin, she sell hair products, and she was able to send me some of her products, a peppermint oil serum and rice water spray. So I use that religiously on my hair,
Yeah.
and that has helped grow my hair out. So I try not to put any heat on it because I was a natural, what they call like a heat natural, where you're natural, but you're still applying heat to your hair. So I was one of those, but I'm trying not to put heat on my hair because I want to see, what it's going to look like. Because this is the most natural I've ever been. Like I'm rocking like the curly fro when these are out. So it's been
Okay.
kind of cool to kind of see me working my hair like this. I've never done it like that before.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've heard about that rice water. I was wondering about that. And you can shout out your cousin. What's your cousin's site so we can tell people about that in case they want to check her out?
It's Beautiful You, and her name is Jonte.
Beautiful you and John Tay. We're gonna get her on the show too. I want to talk to her, but see how
Oh,
she
she
because
would
she
love
brought
it.
you back.
She
So
did.
yeah. Do you know what your lupus triggers are now? You still have any?
I would say fortunately, because a lot of times, unfortunately, it takes people years and years to be diagnosed with lupus. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it kind of happened so quickly. And then in the hospital, they were able to diagnose me and get me on medication really quickly. So I'm on auto injectors to kind of help, kind of help control it. So I haven't had any big flares. Like, and again, I'm kind of new to it too. It's been a year.
Yeah.
So I haven't
Okay.
had any, big flares since that happened. Every now and then I might get really sleepy or like I might get achy and things like that. But other than that, I haven't had any really big issues, since that it happened. But if I am feeling like achy, I just, take time to relax. Luckily, my job is pretty, remote. So I'm able to, be at home. I'm not, on the field a whole lot. So it kind of helps me.
Okay. Now, did it affect your kidneys or anything? I know that sometimes it's a target area for lupus.
So they're keeping an eye on it. I know a big thing is kind of just checking the protein levels in your urine every now and then. So I do a lot of I go to the doctor a lot. So
Okay.
just checking my, tests. I am anemic as well. So I was getting a lot of iron infusion. So that's
Okay.
I tend to get a lot, and that helps because I was cold. Like my body was cold, hands cold,
Mm-hmm.
cold.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Okay. So you said you take a lot of medication for that or just decent amount to keep the symptoms down?
I would say I take less than like the average person take. I know I take one auto injection. I was taking Pret, almost done with that, thank God, because
Uh,
that was rough. It had my
yeah.
face like this, and I couldn't sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
it was tough in the beginning. And just one
Yeah.
other medication, and that's really it. There's some people that's on like 4 or 5 medications, so I'm pretty
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind taking all the medication myself. I'm just glad that they have stuff out there to help people because a lot of
Yeah.
things they don't have cures for or stuff even helps. So I'm glad they got that. I wouldn't care if I take a million things. I'm gonna take that stuff. I'm gonna make it do what it do. But as far as the pain you experienced with that, can you explain how that felt?
Ooh, it's really hard to explain because it was just so brutal. I would say like the pain I had in my feet, like the swelling I had, it was almost like it felt like my feet were like balloons, and that if I stepped on, like they could bust. If that makes sense, like that's it's like my feet were
Yeah.
like really tight. They looked like balloons too. They were
Uh,
so just swollen. My joints were swollen. I could barely walk. I couldn't even sleep in my bed. Like I was sleeping on my couch because like laying straight on my bed was painful for some reason. You would think that would be
mm-hmm.
comfortable, but like I was out of work because I was in the hospital for about 15 days. I was out of work for almost 2 months, almost just trying to recover from it and get my mind back right. Because even mentally, like I was just like weak. I couldn't think straight. Because I wasn't sleeping. I was probably only sleeping
Mm-hmm.
like 2 hours a night. I wasn't eating, so I really
Mm.
believe what they think what actually landed me in the hospital was I was like malnourished because for like 2 weeks I was eating like half an applesauce a day. So that was
Yeah.
kind of part of it.
But you was used to that from the surgery, right?
You would think so. You you would
Yeah.
think so, but
They
mm-mm.
start losing. So this lupus can just hit anybody at any time, just the right circumstances.
It can. I know they stay like a lot. It hits if you didn't get it as a child. If it's not like juvenile lupus, it really hits people around like 30. And coincidentally, that's when I was diagnosed when I was 30. I don't know anybody else in my family who has lupus, so I don't think it's really genetic. I do have another autoimmune disease kind of, which is called hidradenitis. It's a skin disease. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people think that might be related to each other because they both kind of attack your body. Like your
Yeah.
immune system just attacking itself. So they might go hand in hand. A lot of people who have lupus also have hidradenitis or a different autoimmune disease. So if you have one, you might have a few others. Um, yeah.
Now, hydrocrize, I'm thinking that's got something to do with burning inflammation.
Yeah, so it's more so like a skin issue. It kind of like hits people like in their underarms and things like that. It kind of builds up cysts and it can be very painful. They
Oh,
are very painful,
mm,
but most
mm,
people kind of get them in like their underarm areas and like other areas where you might sweat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll have to land some, which that is painful. I've been through that multiple times. It's no fun.
I know some famous people who have it. I know Trick Daddy has it, Lupus, Nick
Mhm.
Cannon, Tony Braxton, Selena Gomez, Lady Gaga, and that other girl, Nicoya Parker. She famous too. Just to name a few. So it doesn't really stop you, right? It doesn't slow you down. You just gotta just kind of work around it. Just kind of do what you gotta do to get your rest and eat right to keep going on.
I would say in my case, yes. I definitely think it's different from other people because I am part of a support group on Facebook because I would join a support group. Like I'm in everything. I got a support group for everything, like on Facebook. So a lot of them, some have it worse than others, some have it better. I think like once it affects your kidneys, it haven't hopefully it never affects my kidneys, but I think once it start affecting like your other major organs, like like your kidneys, your heart, and sometimes your brain, I think that's when it really affects people because some people they end up on disability because they really can't work. But
Oh wow.
unfortunately for me, thus far, I haven't really been, limited once I've, got diagnosed and got on the proper treatment.
Mm-hmm. So I understand that, like you're saying, one can kind of mimic or be similar to the other one. Did you take the COVID shot, or did you get COVID?
I think I'm immune from COVID. Everybody hates when I say that. But I have never gotten COVID. I also have never been vaccinated for COVID, and I don't plan to be vaccinated for COVID.
Well,
I wouldn't call myself a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I just don't. It worked for me so far, and I've been around multiple people who have gotten COVID or was diagnosed with COVID, and I was around them, and I always get tested for it, but I would never have any symptoms for it. I never got it.
mhm.
So that's why I think I'm immune. But also, I don't know if it may relate to lupus because, again, lupus is like, it's always trying, your body's always trying to fight something. It's like always in like protected mode. So I'm like, maybe since my body is like, my immune system is always working overtime because I never had the flu either. I never had the flu shot either. So
What?
I've never had the flu either.
Dang.
Never had COVID. I never got the shot for
Hmm.
either one of them. So I don't know if it's the lupus in the background. It's kind of like, hey, no, you can't get
We
it
got
neither.
this. We got this.
Right,
Y'all
can't
go
get it
somewhere
neither.
else.
Right.
Yeah, boy. You. I don't know what lupus feel like, but I know what the flu feel like. Boy, I had that. I said never again. Mm-mm. I avoid that, but I'm not taking that flu shot no more. I ain't doing that. And I took the COVID shot. I was kind of pressured into it because I figured I said they're gonna change the rules. They can't make people do this up. And I said if it's such a good cure, why are they kind of trying to bribe me with French fries and $100 and all this? It's somewhat. I got my own theories. We can talk about that offline.
Right. They're watching.
Okay. Yeah, Big Brother Jay. I want to pivot over to employment with you now. I know you worked at a popular insurance company. I'm not going to say the company's name, but I know they had a gecko as a mascot. But I'd have to at least take 15 minutes to explain that. So we're not going to talk about that. But how long did you work at that insurance company that you kind of got no longer work for?
Mhm.
Trying to be nice about it. I
I
don't know if
know,
you.
like I said, I can't say nothing too bad because the severance check already cleared. Ain't no take backs, so no take backs.
Yeah,
I already
yeah,
got it. But yeah, I was with an insurance
yeah.
company for a little over 8 years.
Yes.
And I honestly really enjoy work. I have nothing bad to say about the company in all honesty. Like I enjoyed my
Mhm.
time there. I think right now it's not just with that company, but a lot of companies right now are doing a huge restructuring with recruitment and HR and talent acquisition. Like the market right now is like crazy. Even, looking for, other avenues of where I want to go next as far as when it comes to recruiting and things like that. It's like every time I hop on LinkedIn, it's another major company that are laying off people in that space. So it's kind of scary for recruiters right now.
Yeah. Now, 8 years is a long time to be with a company in this modern times. What was your plans with the company? When you like say year seven, you was coast long, you feeling good? Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give me that Bentley now, or I'm gonna go to Paris one more again. What was your thought process?
Yeah, so I started from the bottom at Geico, like just emergency roadside on the phone. So when I went into hiring an HR, I moved up multiple times in there. So my goal was really just to continue to grow with the company. So I saw myself maybe becoming like HR manager of recruiting, maybe somewhere like in the corporate space, and just, continue to grow there because it was a company I really enjoyed working with, representing, we were doing good things in the community. So when I would say it makes recruiting so much easier when you actually believe in a company and things like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
when you're able to recruit, you can be genuine about what you're telling people about it. So it made it easy for me. So I'm excited.
Now, I understand about 73% of people experience anxiety as a result of being laid off, fired, or furloughed. What were your immediate feelings after you left after 8 years? Was it just like an emptiness there, or just like, oh, well, I just move on something? Who moved my cheese? Let me just keep moving. What were your thoughts?
I was surprised and not surprised because there was another group of layoffs before I was even laid off. And the funny
Oh,
thing about it, me and my friend, because she worked at that company as well. Me and my friend, she had called me. She was like, well, so and so just got laid off on my team. I'm kind of worried about my job. And me thinking I was secure, I'm just like, it's okay. Just pray about it. You're going to be okay. And blah, blah, blah. And then literally like 15 minutes later, here come my boss calling me talking about, Nicoya, it's been nice, but you're laid off. And it's so funny because I was thinking it was her that was about to get laid off. And it was me all
dang.
the time. So obviously, I was obviously, heard about it because I was not expecting. I'm like, oh, don't work hard
Mm-hmm.
for this company, just let me go like this. But then they told me the severance amount and how many days. I was like, okay, this, at least I'm leaving with something. But
Yeah.
with me, like I always tell you, like I had mentioned earlier before, I'm very optimistic. I'm like, everything happens for a reason. I'm not about to get down. Like if this was meant to happen, it's meant to happen. But I bounced back pretty quickly as far as, finding employment to where I'm at now. I just, kind of went out there. I was actually at a new job 2 weeks later. So I
Dang.
wasn't, I didn't play that. I was like, and they actually contacted me. That's one thing. If anybody out there doesn't have a LinkedIn page, definitely create you one and, put your
Uh-huh.
name out there because they look for you out there.
Yeah, they be looking.
They be
So,
looking because I was on there looking too, and I'm on there looking now. So they
okay. So you were HR as part of recruiting, right?
yes.
Okay. So did you have to get your SPHR or PHR or any of those things?
I did it not for that role. I didn't. I did get a diversity in the workplace certificate just to kind of, work on, like bias when it comes to recruiting and looking for people in different roles. So I think that was helpful. But that is one thing I do want to get eventually. I think that'll also help and look good on my resume, just to be more well versed in that.
Mm-hmm. So also I want to know, interviewing is a challenge for a lot of people. I think I do pretty good in it, but I used to work at Work One. I used to teach interviewing classes too. But how did you explain to potential employers what had happened at the insurance company of you no longer being there after 8 years? How did you explain
Yeah. So I always just, explain that I was with, this company for a little over 8 years. I never down talk a company, even though I honestly don't have any reason to do that. Just let them know our company went through, a restructuring. I let them know I was not the only one. Because I think some people
I
they be
like that.
lying. They'll say that I got laid off, but actually got fired.
Yeah.
Put that on their applications and resumes, but no, it was a company wide thing. If you go on the internet, you'll actually see it. But that, even my manager, she was laid off too. So it was just, a whole, department type thing. But that a lot of my managers, you'll talk to my supervisors, they typically say very nice things about me. I put them down as a reference for all of my positions. And even if you look at my post on LinkedIn, it'll, they're in my comments saying that you're a great person. We're going to miss you, things like that. So I'm just, honest with them when it comes to that. And, and I think a lot
Yeah.
of people, like I said, it's widespread right now. So I think right now, a lot of people are kind of expecting that from recruiters, unfortunately, because it's happening at a large rate.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're definitely part of a good interviewee, I take it. You know your stuff, you know yourself.
I think I would like to think so. Typically, I don't like Brad, but typically most interviews that I do, I typically get the job, which is funny
Mm.
because, and it's also funny that I'm a recruiter because, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm pretty introverted. Like you have to be a people person in this role. You have to like people, be around people. And I'm kind of not that, but I am that. It's like I could turn it on when I need to, but when I need my space, I get my space. I have to kind of
Mm.
work it in together.
Okay, that's good because I think it's kind of like I tell myself everybody's pretty much an actor because you see people in the morning they're like, "Good morning." I see nobody that happy
Mhm.
every day. You got to get your coffee and stuff. So yeah, but as long as you're doing what you got to do to get a job, that's all that matters. I think so. I agree with that. Once again, we're listening to What's Up Aboard TV and What's Up Aboard the podcast. Again, my name is Woody Ward. I'm talking to Miss Nicoya Parker, and we're going to jump into the second part of this podcast. I call this Rapid Fire. We're going to just talk about some other things right quick here. I want to talk to you about dating in the 2024 season here. Ask your expert opinion on it. According to recent data, about 35 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce, while second marriages have a higher rate of divorce of around 60 to 70%. So my question to you, Nicole, is do you want to get married or have you been married before?
I've never been married before, but I would love to get married.
Okay, okay. Why do you think these numbers are so dismal about the success rate of marriage? What's happening? What's going on? Is it women? Are women just crazy? Or do men make them that way? That's the name of my new book. Anyway, but go ahead.
It's funny because me and my boyfriend talk about this oftentimes. I think what we kind of talked about as far as why they're ending is that they believe, women aren't traditional like we used to be or like we're supposed to be back then, and that we're expecting a lot, especially when it comes to emotional intelligence. Um,
Hmm.
and a lot of men believe that, women expectations are too high and are just willing to, leave a relationship because within divorce it's also stated that women are typically the ones to initiate a divorce.
That's true. That's
Women are
true.
typically the ones. And then they
Mm-hmm.
also state that, women are more emotional and men are more logical when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Two things,
but
yes.
but one thing I will say is that when it comes to logic and emotional, I feel like a lot of men, understand that women are emotional creatures. So I would say you being a logical man, and if your woman is expressing certain things, I think it would be logical to kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say, bow down to your woman and do everything for your woman, but take the time to, understand where she's coming from, emotionally. I think if some people would
Hmm.
take, put their pride aside to thinking that I need to bow down to a woman or she expects this, this, and that, and just, be logical to think that, if I just took the time just to listen to her, maybe she, you won't feel this type of way. Maybe we can come to some type of common ground and maybe work it out.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you saying all the dude got to do is listen and the problem stops. He ain't got to hear no more nagging, no more all the stuff that comes along with the emotions. He ain't got to hear if he just listen.
I think that would help. Absolutely.
I
It's a little
don't
something
know.
everything because you never know what's going.
Hmm.
Because it was also one thing we had talked about too, which is I want to say kind of funny. But they were talking about like if a man steps out, on his wife or cheats on her, and if a woman decides to leave a man for his a woman starts to leave a man because he cheated on her, it's her ruining the marriage because now she's breaking up the marriage. However, you're the one that cheated. And if you entered into a monogamous relationship and you know that you could potentially lose your wife because you did this to her, how is it her?
Mhm. I see it from both sides. Number
Mhm.
one, can we consider this? There's always contributing factors to the demise of a relationship because if these marriages are almost 50% failing, the other 50% are they totally happy? Because when people change every 7 years or so, so when the person you married is definitely not the person you're with now. So you're gonna grow two ways. You're gonna grow together or you're gonna grow apart. But it's definitely gonna be some growth there. So if you're not communicating well with your mate, and then say the girl at work is talking to the dude like all you do, you come home, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna hit him with the silent treatment. I'm gonna cut off sex. It's a lot of things you do, and then the dude, people say dudes are weak, and the man he in a contributing factor situation is he cheat? Was that necessarily? Did y'all do that or did he just do that? That's what I'm asking.
No, I can understand that too. And I always like to see things both ways. I'm not just, pro woman, pro male and things like that. But I think that communication is extremely important. I would like for him to at least communicate with me before he cheat to kind of be like, because I feel like a lot of men they claim that they have a hard time, like, because women are emotional. They claim they don't show emotions like women do. So if you're feeling the type of where you're unhappy about something that I've done, or like I said, a lot of marriage becomes sexless marriages and things like that. Like,
Roommates.
I want you, right, become roommates. Like, I want us to try to kind of fix, like, I can't read your mind. Like, if there's something, is there type of issue that you want to talk about, like, don't hold it in, or don't try to, just try to give me signs and think that I'm just going to pick up on it. Cause I think a lot of people do that. Women do it too. Like, we try to show signs and, like you said, try to withhold sex without at least trying to explain to him, like, why I'm feeling this type of way. Like, if you're not communicating anything to me, I cannot fix it, but please try to fix it before you go out with Keisha. Please.
Right. So you saying that the man should try to come. So it sounds like you saying that the woman is not communicating well. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm saying both. We are both.
Okay.
Yeah, we both lack in communication here.
Mm-hmm. Well, who do you think cheats more, men or women?
I think men cheat more. However, I think I did learn that women aren't too far off.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close because women, from what my research has shown me, women cheat differently. Men, if you walk into the job, you can see the girl next door. That's where we creep went right there. Women, y'all, I'm just generalizing. Don't nobody call me a thing. But women tend to do things like, hey, I'm gonna go to a girls' trip to Jamaica. And all along you telling Leroy to meet you on the trip, and then y'all be posting pictures all on Instagram next thing you, oh, I miss Jamaica. No, you don't. You miss Leroy. He was creeping. Y'all do it big. Like we went to Paris and all this stuff. And dude, he just I think women put a high value on sex. So they like it. So if a guy sleeps with a girl, he had to earn that because women just think I just sleep with every dude. But a man, he'll sleep with anybody. So if he cheats, I guess he just had a problem. But a woman, she cheated. She thought about it. She had some feelings because y'all emotional. Y'all, I mean, you think about, well, if I do this, y'all think, dude, we don't even think about it. We just go out and do it. Hey, I did it. I'm sorry. I won't do it. Yeah, I think it's a little different reasoning there.
No, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of these side chicks is getting a lot of more attention these days. Because I know a lot of guys say that, well, I can cheat because I'm not gonna have no emotions to the girl, and it could just be one and done. When y'all cheat, y'all are emotional. Unfortunately, I think that's for most women, but I actually think that's also starting to change too, because I think that I don't know. I feel like men, they like to revert to, well, I'm a man, we're supposed to be polygynous anyways. So it's just my manly urge to, go out. But if you're entering to a monogamous, because I have nothing against because he's polygyny or polygamy, either way you want to put it.
Yes.
I have no issues with it as long as all parties are aware and okay with it. For me, that's
okay.
not for me. But if you
it's not a deal breaker.
Huh?
That's not a deal breaker.
What you mean?
You saying you don't care if your dude have more than one girl, right?
Oh,
no, as
no,
long as you
I'm
know.
not with that. No, I'm saying that
okay,
as in society, I don't mind polygyny if that's what these people want to do in their lives. For me, I'm not doing it. I can't share. I'm not willingly about to share. I'm not sharing a house with another woman. We not having sister wife. That's not me. But I don't mind those that do it. But I just can't do
this
it.
ain't you.
It's
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think? Two things I'm thinking about. Number one, what do you think about couples who start dating and they really don't have that conversation of say, okay, I'm gonna see you, you're gonna see me. I'm not gonna sleep with other people, you're not gonna sleep with other people. If you do, then we're over. Do couples actually have that conversation? Are the rules clear, or we just assume, well, we together? You my man, I'm your girl. We ain't gonna see no. Is that how I do, or do people have to talk about this?
I think it's an unspoken thing when you guys become official, like your boyfriend is your girlfriend. So I think it's an assumed thing. However, even when it comes to polygyny, even polygyny today is always almost kind of one-sided. Like a man can be able to step out, but if a woman do it, that's a no-no. So
I think, but y'all kind of put that on y'all-self, but y'all kind of pretty much like, oh no, y'all seem like women would expect another woman to not be with her dude at a girl code. Like, he was with me, they be wanting to fight the girl and the dude stand there. So I'm like, I think that's the pressure y'all put on y'all-self. But so you saying that couples just don't really have to have that I'm with you, you with me. You clear on this? We ain't got to talk about that because it's just understood.
I think they should. I think that should. I just don't think that's what happens. I think like once you ask me to be your girlfriend, then we locked in. It's no other people. You not stepping out. I feel like some people feel like, I mean, boyfriend and girlfriend isn't as serious as a marriage. So if I do step out, it's not as bad. But yeah, no, because I mean, because
Interesting.
me and my boyfriend, we talk about this a lot. So it's like, okay, like if you step out on me, I'm supposed to forgive you, but if I step out on you, it's like automatically over. Like that's not fair.
No, it's not. But there's, like I said, there's always contributing factors because I think sometimes couples take the other person for granted. I mean, when you're not new no more, people don't really treat you like you knew. Like you meet another dude, he gonna tell you, give you flowers, candy, wine and dine. You call you, but the dude, he might start taking you for granted. He might not start saying you look nice. He might start buying you little gifts and stuff because it slowly gets away and you guys never talk about it. Just like you said, the couples assume things. So say you and your guy, for example, did you and him have that conversation like, it's just we locked in, it's me and you? Did y'all have that literal conversation? Did y'all do that?
We didn't in the beginning, but I think when we have like these conversations, like now, like how we're having, because we do this a lot, and I'm like, yeah, if you cheat on me, 9 out of 10, I'm leaving. Like I'm not doing it. But
Oh, so you can't rewrite the contract.
right. I said, I'm not, nah. At least don't let me find out. And that's one thing. A lot of dudes, like, they are not good at like cheating. Like, women can really pick up on small things and just like, no, like, you ain't called me on your lunch break.
Right,
You
right.
don't give nobody reasons because like we are very analytical, we are very observant. Like any little thing that changes out of your typical routine, like our mind kind of
Mm-hmm.
goes there, and that's when we kind of start looking for things, which we
Oh
probably
yeah.
could. Like I said, when you look for things, likely you gonna find it, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty true statement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, men are terrible cheaters, and
Do
yeah.
you think all men want to cheat?
I don't think all men want to cheat. I think if you find, like as they say, if you find a good person and you love her, I think most men, don't want to. But a lot of men are saying it's in their nature to, cheat or be with multiple women and to grow and multiply or something, the multiply thing. So it's like they always blame it on their testosterone and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's a real like I mean, there's other ways to release yourself besides being with another woman. Like, there's things out there today. So I don't know.
So, what do you think men need? What do you think men want from a relationship?
I definitely think, they want, want
You right.
somebody that's, submissive. I know that's a big thing. They want somebody submissive, somebody that's, will listen to them, that supports
Yes,
them,
sir. Yes, sir.
that they can see that can be a good mother to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. And I like to think of myself as a traditional modern woman. Like I don't mind doing those things. I actually, take pride in being able to support somebody, be there for them. I think I'm a pretty good cook. I can clean and things like that. But I'm also kind of, modern when it comes to, kind of like a partnership type things. I know a lot of men don't want to view partnerships kind of as negative. They want to be the head and the lead, which I'm okay with that too, especially if you're a good leader. You have to be a good leader, be somebody that I'm okay following. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't mind that. But in today's economy, if you're not like a earner, like I'm not, more than likely I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom. Like
Mm-hmm.
unless you have like a really good job. So we're working together. So if you're expecting me to work a 9 to 5 and cook, clean, take care of the kids, I'm gonna need some help. I just can't
Mm-hmm.
do everything. It's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
working together.
Yeah. I think people can do it. I think it's just a lifestyle you want to have. If you don't mind living in a one-bedroom apartment on 38th Street in Shadeland, I think you could be a stay-at-home mom. But do you want a career, or would you rather stay home?
If I had to choose, well, that's tough. Because if I had to choose, like I don't mind being traditional. I would like to be at home raised if I had, because I don't have any kids right now. I would like to have kids one
Cool.
day. I'm kind of at that threshold. I'm 31, so I'm kind of inching up there. So I would like to have.
Yeah.
He has a child already. He has one from a previous relationship. But he wants more kids as well. But
How old is this kid?
she is 7.
Okay. Okay.
She's 7.
Yeah, you want another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm sorry I cut you off. Were you going? Go ahead.
Oh no, you know. I would like to be a stay-at-home. If we can afford it, I like to take care of my kids, raise my kids, had a house and things like that. But also, I I'm not a lavish person, but I do like to be able to afford certain things. I want to live in like a nice house. I want to, be able to travel and buy things when I want to. And I don't know if I'd be willing to be a stay-at-home mom to live on 38th and Shadeland when I know if, if with his income and my income, and I know we can sustain a decent lifestyle and be able to afford what we want when we want, I would kind of prefer that. I mean, I wouldn't mind going down to part-time so that if he making a decent living and I'm still bringing in some type of income to keep us afloat to do those type of things, I don't mind that. But it just depends.
Yeah. Hmm. Do you think a guy should pay for a girl when they go out to eat and stuff when y'all dating and stuff too? Or is that
The first
50-50?
date, yes. The very first date, I am one of those people. Yes, please pay for this date. But after that, I'm kind of like, I got it. I don't mind doing that either. Like, I don't mind treating for certain things. Like, I'll surprise him with certain things. He'll surprise me with certain things. Like, I'm a very thoughtful person. Like, I think about like little small things. Like, I notice different things that you like. I'll surprise him with it. I'll be at the store like, oh, I think he might like that. Let me do that. So I'm kind of like, but pay for the first things. Yes, first few times. But then, it's my turn. I don't mind doing that.
Why do you think the man should pay for the woman the first couple of times if they both get to know each other? What does he get out of this?
He get to
When
know
y'all
me.
both get to know each other, you
Yeah.
can do it over Zoom. You can do it over
No,
Zoom.
well, I mean, yeah, we could do that too, but no, that's how it's supposed to be. Just like they expect submission and certain traits from women. That's the manly part of. I can be
Yeah.
traditional and but that's you
But he
choosing.
don't he don't he don't know you're gonna be submissive and not on the first date. It's like not like he's gonna get a refund if it turns out you psycho. So I don't know. I have issues with that. With
The
that.
first date, go Dutch.
No,
I mean, I've been on a couple of dates where I pay for my own meal and he paid for his own meal. So that's not a deal breaker. Like I've done that before. It's not a complete deal breaker. I might look at you side, and I'm also modest too. I'm not somebody like if a guy take me on the first date and I'm ordering like the most expensive meal.
oh
I
yeah, I've seen
typically
that.
do what I typically do is I'm like, so what are you getting to eat? And whatever's around the price range that he's willing to pay for his own meal, I'll kind of try to stick to that or underneath it because I don't know. I'm not that type of person that's just trying to like run somebody's pockets. I try to be modest.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just have some issues because this guy told me he took his girl out to a nice restaurant in LA and she got there and he said she was pulling off the left side. She was getting everything. And then she went home and gave him a kiss on the cheeks. All right, see you later. So it's almost like it's an expectation there. And I get it, but I'm not shallow like that, but I just seem like I want to get to know somebody before I start investing money and stuff in you because I just wouldn't want to set that rule. That's why I said it should be a little different because dudes, unfortunately, especially, a dude buy you a drink in the club, he followed you the whole night.
Yeah.
Is he wrong? It was an investment. Or why would you take the meal or the drink if you wouldn't, I'm just looking at it from both sides.
No, I hear you. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm all also for, start doing, dates at like a nice park. It has to be a public park.
Yeah.
That's one thing to me. Like if I'm meeting
Yeah.
somebody, a nice little walk in the park, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
exactly. Frisbee or something, or getting to know somebody, just whatever, just something like that. Let's sleep for coffee or something. Then I don't know. I just think that makes it a lot better because I don't want you to feel like you owe me something, and I don't
right.
even want to step to you like that. So I find a lot of couples do that. Well, don't nobody want to be called a gold digger,
Right.
but I got a couple things I think men want. I think men are simple, and to juxtapose that, I'll say this first off. When women tend to have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, women tend to have a longer list of things they're looking for in a mate. They might want to have nice teeth, good shoes, well-established job, his own place, can't have too many friends, can't have any bad habits, got to be modest and this and that and that. They got, and they can take off some things. Okay, well, maybe he don't have the best job, but he's in school. Okay, maybe he don't have good teeth, but he got braces. Okay, well, men, we got pretty much four things that's non-negotiable. We might want to be intimate with us. We definitely got to have you respect. That's going to be number one. He wants somebody who can take care of herself as well as him, and you want somebody to communicate. If you hit them four things, then everything else we can work with. But if you're missing one of them, it's a deal breaker for us. It's not going to happen. So women, y'all got some flexibility in there. So how do you know that someone is the right guy? How do you know when guys approach you? I know you do burn your eyes away, but how did you know your guy was for you? Or how did y'all even meet?
Yeah, so actually, like I tell you, I'm not a good flirt in person. Like I'll go out and things like that. And still, I'm not from Indianapolis, so I don't know a whole lot of people out here to even kind of mingle, like in the crowd and stuff like that. So we actually met on the dating site. We met on Hinge, and
Hmm,
I
Hinge.
actually reached out to him first, which that's the
Ooh,
new
look
thing that
at
I'm
you.
trying. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
what I'm trying. Like I reached out to him, and I actually like Hinge as far as a dating app because it forces people to add at least 5 or so pictures, so I know you at least kind of real. It forces you
Okay.
to answer like 4 different type of questions and things like that. So, we met on there and we started talking on there first, just asking different questions and things like that. And I think what stood out to him is that he's a conversation, like he will talk, and which is good for me is being somebody who's kind of introverted. He kind of just brings me out of my comfort zone. Um,
Hmm.
he is somebody that believes in traditional values for the most part. He's a manly man for the most part, and I am attracted to that. And we laugh because I'm goofy. Like I am a goofy person. Kind like I said, kind of corny, but we kind of clicked on that level. And
Yeah.
aside
What's
from
a manly man? What's a manly man?
a manly man, like he's very into sports. Like he used to play football. He, referee football and baseball games on the side now, and I go to those games and watch them. He likes going to live. I've been to like my first, I think one of these games I went to with him for the first time, like a live baseball, football. We done been to all of them.
Okay.
So I like doing that, opens doors. He's a bigger guy,
Hmm.
so I like guys,
Uh-oh.
are
Hold on, wait a
taller.
minute. Let me go back to my notes. Bigger guy. That ain't what you spoke. Okay.
Well, he's not like big because he used to be
Hmm.
really in shape. He's kind of, the dad bod now, but it's a good dad bod. He looks good. He's probably gonna watch this. You look good. Okay, very
Clean
handsome.
it
I
up.
like it. Okay,
Clean it up. Okay.
yeah, I like it. I like it all. But no,
Okay.
it's very manly.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Let me ask you this question. What's the difference between dating, serious dating, and marriage? Is
Um,
there a difference?
it's not a big difference because we talked about this recently too. As far as like when you're dating somebody, you want to show like either your wifely or husbandly traits while you're dating so that they can know that you are wife or husband material before they make you this person. Um, so I would say mainly the biggest difference is more so like the title and the piece of paper because me, like I'm trying to show you and genuinely show what I bring to the table and that I genuinely care about you. We don't live together, but we're at each other places. Like when I'm over there, I do a lot of the cooking. Sometimes I clean things like that, and he takes care of a lot of things too. For me as well, he put together my TV stand. So just having somebody I can call to be like, hey, I need help with
Yeah.
this and that. For him, I know it's a big thing for me. He has a daughter from a previous relationship, so I do have a relationship with her. She is
Okay.
hilarious. No, she's
Yeah.
beautiful little girl. She's hilarious. So, I get to know her and we interact together. And just kind of getting to know each other.
How
So,
long y'all been talking now?
a little over a year. It's about
Okay.
like a year
Okay.
and a half-ish. So we're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of fresh, but still, kind of, growing. I don't know. I know for different people, there's like a time limit on when you should date somebody and when you should get married and things like that. But,
Hmm.
I'm just, I'm not the ASCII. So, we'll see what happens in the future.
That's true. That's true. I did research on that, and they said the average amount of time that you know when you're ready to go to the next level is 6 months. They said, because think about it, most jobs give you a 90-day probationary period, and people can retire from those jobs. So you know in the first 90 months, I mean 90 days, it's like, so what do you want to do? Because I think a lot of times people just kind of scared because, like I said, the divorce rates are high and people change, and you have to look at a person's how they communicate with you. Because if a person likes to argue or get bent out of shape over something small, that not only doesn't go away, it kind of magnifies later on. So what do you think about counseling? Is that something you guys would do?
I would be open to that. Absolutely. Him, I'm not sure. I would hope so. I think from his perspective, if he does get counsel, I think he will prefer like a male counselor, because I think he believes like female counselors a little bit biased.
Mhm.
So I've been to counseling for a class. I would actually want to be a therapist myself at one point, and I had to take a class for it. And I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, but I would absolutely do it.
Okay. You said that you're not the askee. You saying you wouldn't ask a man to marry you, but you
Oh,
did ask him out on the date.
I
But you
see
was
that's where that's because I feel like because
mm,
for the most
mm,
part I know what I want, so I'm a slide in the DMs before somebody else do because now because
right,
you
right.
got to because sometimes the algorithm be weird, so maybe he didn't see me on his. Maybe if I wouldn't have reached out,
You gotta walk by
he
twice.
wouldn't be here. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the marriage thing.
Okay. Why do you say that you wouldn't ask a dude? I mean, if you know what you want, what's wrong with that? That's like saying, okay, I want this job, but I'm not gonna apply here because I want them to come get me. But you just said I'm on LinkedIn, so why wouldn't you ask him?
Because
He might
I
be
don't
taking
know.
too long.
I feel like we fall quicker than men in a way. Like we kind
Hmm.
of know if we want to marry a guy and we follow the quicker. So we want to make sure that he's ready. Because a lot of times men would they want to commit, but they want to make sure they sure before they commit. Because I feel like for them, they feel like it's a bigger step than women because now they really got to let go of these women, other women potentially, and things like
Hmm.
that. So I feel like once a man knows that he's sure he wants to make me his wife and he's ready to completely, settle down, then I think that's when I know it's like for real. And then he gotta buy
I
me a
guess.
cute ring and stuff. If I propose to him,
Oh my
when
God.
women propose, do we gotta get them a ring or how does that work? I don't know.
I think it's all pagan traditions anyway. I mean, really, all you got to do is go to justice peace and be done with it. But this
Yeah.
whole, yeah, people be spending a lot of money on weddings, man. I was like 20 racks on a wedding when we could have went to JP and flew to Hawaii and kicked it for a whole
That's
month.
good.
That's just me. But like I said, no, some people want that. So uh, can you have friends at let me just go back. I wasn't gonna go there, but I'm gonna ask this. So
Okay.
if you're seriously dating, he can't see other people. He can't sleep with anybody else.
Right.
So I don't understand why not get married. I mean, you dang get married anyway. I mean, why not? What's the difference?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I said. If you're already doing it, why not just go and make it? Because marriage is a protection. I mean,
Mhm.
because your housing is cheaper to live there because you can have more money together with someone and start building that relationship, getting a house and doing things. Something happens, you have life insurance on your partner, and it's a lot of benefits. And people who are married have are healthier. You sleep better. It's a lot of benefits to it. So I just wonder, how long does one wait? How long should one wait to actually do it?
Now they're saying about 2 years. They say at least by 2 years you should at least be engaged by then. But also,
Hmm.
there's a campaign now. They tell the men not to get married to women no more because the family laws, as far as like, because they're seeing like marriages aren't lasting, so it's like they're afraid to get married and it ends in divorce, and now you got to pay her this money, or
Yep.
now you got to
Oh
pay
yeah.
child support and so I think people about to start having a lot of commitment ceremonies with no paper. And
Yeah. Yeah. So you look from a religious standpoint, you definitely want to do it, but from a worldly standpoint, I can see you like, yeah, I don't know about this, but I mean, would you do a prenup?
yeah, I would do that. I would.
Oh my gosh, you gonna do a prenup?
I would. I wouldn't want to, but I feel like today,
Y'all
and then
talk about
also
that?
you gotta protect yourself too, because it's some women that some modern day women out here, they losing too. If
Yeah.
somehow you the breadwinner and I gotta give you all my money and my assets, like I don't know. So
I can't do a prenup. Me personally, I wouldn't do it because
mhm.
I got to be sure of you. Because if I'm not sure, that's to me that sounds like I'm gonna be with you as long as this. You starting out already in divorce court. Like
Nasty.
we gonna do this. As long as this, you ain't get my money. I don't care about the money. So because if that's what I gotta do to get rid of you, then go and take half of it. I'm good. I mean, I can build it without you.
Mhm.
So if you don't want to be with me, I don't want you to be with me either. So what about joint bank accounts? How you feel about that? His money is his money, and your money is your money. And then y'all got the joint thing or one big pot.
Think I haven't had to deal with that yet, but I think it should be joint. We are working together. Um, Would I have like maybe like a separate credit card? Maybe. I don't know.
Mm,
Like I said,
yeah.
I'm so used to, I would say like in a while, this has been like a serious relationship that I had in a while. So I'm still kind of being
Okay.
used to being in
Fair enough.
relationship. Sometimes I wonder like, am I doing it right? Am I affectionate
Mhm.
enough? Am I saying enough things? Because it's still kind of, like renewed to me. Because I've kind
Yes.
of been, used to being kind of like on my own, paying my own bills, my own money, my cars, just having, decent jobs. So I'm still kind of learning how to be a decent girlfriend.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, would you say you're an alpha woman?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Mhm. If what would your last boyfriend say about you?
He would say, honestly, I think he would probably say that he's proud of me or where I come from and the things that I dealt with him in the past and seeing, where I am today and probably like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think he would be proud of me. Probably be like, I definitely think that to toot my own horn, I probably like considered to be like the one that got away. But
Ooh, you her. Okay.
I
Well,
definitely think so.
I reached out to him and we have him here. I'm going to bring him in now. I'm just- name a couple you think has a good relationship. It could be famous or anybody you know.
A couple I think have a good relationship.
Hmm.
That's hard, especially today because everybody getting divorced. If you look on the shade roll, uh,
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
it's all bad. A couple that has a good relationship.
Hmm.
Mm, I'm
Anybody. Nobody?
only that's coming up to me right now is David and Tamala Man. Like I
Yeah,
think they're doing pretty good. Like
yeah, yeah.
they
I do
support
like
each
them.
other really good. They had a really good TV show and they're
Yeah,
thriving right now. Been together for
yeah,
a long time too. I'm pretty sure, their marriage the whole time wasn't perfect. I'm pretty sure they went through some hiccups too along the way, but
yeah, yeah. I think so too because I'm glad you brought them up because I look at them. I think they have respect, and like I said, I cannot stress how important it is for a man to feel respected by his woman. We would rather you respect us and love us because if you respect us, you given us that. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. A long time ago, before I even got in a relationship, I saw a guy and his wife. They had a great relationship. Somebody called one day and the lady answered the phone. She said, "Hey, what's going on?" The lady said, "Well, y'all, you want to do like to come over and kick it with us tonight? We're gonna throw some stuff on the grill and just kick it for the evening." She said, "You know what? That sounds like a good idea, but let me check with my dude first to see if he got other plans. If he don't have nothing going on, then we there." I fell off my chair because to me that was respect. She said, "I'm gonna respect him enough to say." I ain't gonna just tell him because my mother, when I grew up, she ran the house. My father, he come home, take a shower, about to go to such a house. He had no choice. But this lady respected him enough to do that. So I said that's important to do. And if he don't care about you with another dude, you can have the gay best friend, you can do whatever you want to do. He ain't gonna even care because if he know you respect him, he know you ain't gonna mess with his name, you ain't gonna mess with his feelings, and you'll find out a lot of dudes will give a girl anything she wants if she respects it. That's just something. We're almost done. Let me ask you a few more questions. Did you have a comment before I move on?
oh no, I agree with that.
Okay. Name a celebrity that you find attractive.
Ooh, a celebrity I find attractive.
Hmm.
Um, ooh, I want to say weirdly, but the first person I don't know why he's coming up to my mind. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna say it because they just got divorced. But I think Iman Shumpert, I don't know if it's his last name right, but Tiana,
Yeah.
I think he's cute.
So you like to do with the wild hair and okay.
Well, he keep his
Yeah.
braids kind of nice, but I like tall guys. He's a tall guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm really into like the tall guys. So
Hmm.
he's
So how do
pretty.
you feel about the dude with them lumpy afros? You like that stuff?
Not really. I'm more
That's
into the
popular.
team. I'm the afros. I prefer like a nice look. I actually like bald heads too. 'Cause my boy, he got a bald
Okay.
head. And he wants
Hmm.
his hair back up. I'm like, I like the bald look. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the ball brothers. All right. And what was last question I have in this round is what was dating like for you during COVID?
Dating during COVID. It was
If you did
mainly
do.
again. I did try to do some dating during COVID. Mainly, that's when I was back on Tinder. I did try out the Tinder thing, which I stopped doing Tinder. It was just too much swiping. It was weird to me. Um,
Mhm.
I forgot. That's how bad it was. I forgot who I dated during. No,
Dang.
no, I
I know
lied to you. I
that
lied
was
to
a
you.
tough time for people.
It was a tough time. I had met somebody kind of towards the end of COVID, and me and him, we actually hit it off pretty good. We dated for a while. We actually went to school together for a little bit.
Okay.
We're college together. We had kind of, and I actually hopped in his DMs too. And we didn't even
Dang.
meet. We didn't even meet on a date app. We were just friends on Instagram. We were just doing that weird liking each other pictures for a little while, and I was like, okay, I think he's pretty cool. So I actually put a basketball in his. I'm kind of corny. I put a basketball in his DM talking about I'm shooting my shot now. And
Dang.
we hit it off.
Okay.
Didn't last, but we tried.
Now, see, I can admire that you did that because a lot of girls will just hold back and just want to do them. I almost feel like sometimes when people want to say, "Hey, look, you wanted me, you
Uh,
chased me down. I didn't chase you down." That's why I can say it, So could be. But all right, cool. Well, um, before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you wanted to clear up or say in this round? We covered so many things. Just want to know is anything we missed on
I feel like the only thing I want to clear up, I want to say clear up, but I feel like, right now we have the whole gender wars as far as, women blaming men for everything and men blaming women for everything. I feel like
there?
there needs to be some unity here. Like we need to work out.
Mm,
Obviously, we have our issues on both sides, but I feel like everything I'm seeing right now is like, men podcast bashing women for this. It's like nothing really positive. While I
right.
do believe that right now, because there's definitely some things I see, as far as, entertainment and stuff, I'm like, oh no, y'all making us look bad out here. Like, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if those are the only things that we are highlighting as far as when it comes to women, especially Black women, then it's assumed that most or all Black women are like this. Like there are some positive, Black women out there. Same thing for Black men too. Like there are really great Black men out there, but if we're only praising or, putting out there that they're all doing this, and that, like, it's really like no resolve. And I'm just here for, love, Black love, and that's just, getting along so we can have, some happy Black families, some happy Black kids
Yeah.
out here. Like I'm here for that. And I just
Okay.
feel like right now a lot of people are making their money by a Black woman did this. And I be telling my boyfriend about this too, like, because he follow like a lot of podcasts, do a lot of these type of shows, and I can name them off, they're not about to get me. But I told him I was gonna call him up, but I ain't gonna do it. But like a lot of them are making their money based off of it, but there's more good women. He's like, why are you so mad? He always asked me this question, like, why do you get upset when they post videos about, Black women doing this and this and that when you're not one of those women? But I'm
Good
like,
question.
that you're a good woman. I'm like, but I'm not a monolith. Like I'm not the only decent Black girl out here. Like there are more
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I feel like the reason why we are seeing a lot of, these women who are, shaking and doing all this negative stuff because they're posted. Women like me, we're not posting stuff out there like that. So we're not going to be shown as often as these other women like they're like, I'm chilling most of the time. So we're not going to be, seen as much as those people are. That does not mean that we're not out here because I'm definitely out here,
Mm-hmm.
but you're just not going to see me just posting crazy stuff like that. So we out
Yeah.
here. Good Black women,
Yeah.
we out here. Okay.
No doubt.
That's
I
all.
blame social media for a lot of that
Yeah.
too, because they highlight negative stories, and of course they attack African Americans a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But the second caveat I have is that Black women are doing a lot of damage because they come out and talk about Black men a lot. I don't hear Chinese women talk about they dudes. I don't hear white women talk about they dudes. Definitely hear Mexican women talk about they dudes, and them dudes are on a whole nother level. Even African dudes, they possessive beyond belief, and they never want to. It's just you find the Black women come on, he did this and he ain't did it. Keep that stuff in house, and that's why you get them passport brothers like, man, I'm going over here. So I think that's a problem. I think if women want to do something, start a group saying, yeah, why don't we do something about it instead of just putting it out there? Because somebody gonna put a camera in your face if you start talking about something negative.
No, I agree. That's why I said we need to work together. Together.
Yes, unity, unity.
Unity. Yes.
Queen,
Yes. I'm
Queen
here
Latifah
for it.
told y'all. Yeah. Well, Ms. Parker, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure to have you here today and hear your story. What's next for you? What's up next for you in life?
No, this has been fun, and thank you so much for having me. Like I was nervous, but this is a good time. But as far as what's next for me, just seeing where life continues to take me to go as far as my career. My love life, not getting any younger, just being with my family, and just kind of just living life. I want to travel more and just explore and just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness,
Yeah.
clarity, peace, serenity. That's my mantra. I actually got a tattooed on me. Clarity, peace, serenity. That's how I like to live my life. I don't like drama. I'm just a real chill, laid back person.
I meant to ask you, you get one tattoo?
I got like five.
I mean,
Five, I believe, but they're all like kind of like small tattoos. They're not nothing
okay.
crazy. But
Yeah. All right, cool. Where can our listeners find you on your social media footprints?
yeah, so I do have a TikTok. Yeah, I probably have to search Nicoya Parker because I forgot what my username was, which is crazy. I'm on TikTok. I do quite a few TikTok videos. That's where I get a lot of views on.
Okay.
As if you want to follow my weight loss page, I'm not really active on there, but you can kind of see what my journey was back then.
Yep.
It's ITZ_Koya, COYAA. And really everything else is kind of like Nicoya Parker. If you want to find me on Facebook or Instagram, just type in, because there's not a lot of Nicoya Parker, so you can really find
Yep.
me anywhere. That's the easiest thing about me, and kind of hard too, because anybody can just find
Yes.
me anywhere. Just type in Nicoya Parker, I will pop up.
Okay. Okay. I like all the mediums too. I think I'm extra active on Instagram, definitely YouTube, and TikTok. I like that one a lot as well. Okay, let me go ahead and get my final thoughts before we get out of here. Wardy Ward's final thoughts is this. Love is not only our creator's most dominant quality, but it's something that is required for a healthy relationship. However, when it comes to dating, some people come in our lives for a season and some come for a lifetime. We get into a lot of trouble when we mix the seasonal people up with lifetime expectations. So, in the words of Angela Mayo, Angela Mayo, what's her name? Maya Angelou. Yeah, Maya Angelou. She said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Remember, everyone has a story to tell. Till next time, love, chicken grease, and peace.